Airports draw consignments in winter jackets, body lotion at Lagos Airport. On the foreign scene, explosion in Sudanese capital as fighting enters third day. I am Kalada Kurubatbo. Remember, peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Do let peace reign. Good afternoon. Residents of Indele community in our local government area reportedly started fleeing their community over fears of reprisal attacks from the Nigerian army. It follows a clash between a member of the disbanded OSPAC, Gift Ajuru, and some personnel of the Nigerian army over alleged proceeds from illegal oil bunkering activities in some parts of Indele community. It was gathered that trouble started when Gift Ajuru disarmed two army officers and collected their rifles during an argument. The soldiers later reinforced and came back to the community in search of the two rifles collected by the disbanded OSPAC member. An eyewitness who spoke to our correspondent says the situation led to the burning down of Mr. Ajuru's building.
One of the army was able to untie the two persons he tied inside bush. They now called all army people. Throughout yesterday night, around 7, the whole of Ndele was so quiet. Nobody was moving on the road. Everybody ran away. Some persons didn't sleep in their house, slept along the road where they were coming, some inside bush. So that very yesterday night, they were looking for this, our OSPA commander, to see him. Even they had a just open fire. As I'm talking to you, they burnt his house yesterday night. I don't know whether he has come back this morning. Now they are having open shootouts. As I'm talking to you now, the entire people, no church today. Nobody is going out. Everybody is indoor. We are inside bush as I'm talking to you now.
When contacted, MOA local government chairman Chidiloy told newsmen that he is aware the soldiers laid siege to Indele community. He said he is not aware if there's been any casualty as he's still investigating. Dr. Lloyd has on several occasions warned residents of the area, especially members of the disbanded OSPAC, against illegal oil refining activities and that accused the military of aiding the activities of illegal oil refiners in the area. Also, the Commander General of the State Vigilante Group, better known as OSPAC, Kingsley Ogumike, said the people who attacked the soldiers are not OSPAC members but people operating on their own. The army is yet to speak in this. Reacting to this, the Executive Director of Youth and Environmental Advocacy Center, Dunamene Fineface, called for peace between the Nigerian army and the leadership of Indele community. Mr. Fineface in a statement also called on the security agencies in the state to intervene before the crisis gets out of hand. He also reiterated the call for an end to pipeline vandalism, crude oil theft and illegal oil bunkering, which pollutes the environment. In another development, the Rivers State Director of National Orientation Agency, NOA, Young Ayotamino, has expressed concern over the eroding value of human dignity in the society. Mr. Ayotamino, in an interview with correspondent Emeka Otuka, was reacting to the increasing rate of mob action in different parts of the country. He said human life should be respected at all times, irrespective of the prevailing circumstance or situation. He advised youths against taking laws into their hands, but to explore legitimate channels of seeking redress.
Nobody has the right to take the life of another person, and we expect that in such cases that the security agencies should be approached. It is a concern for us because looking at our values, our societal values, we are beginning to completely lose respect for the human person, which are key components of our Constitution, particularly Chapter 4, which has to do with human rights. For us as an agency, we find the development quite appalling and condemnable.
Mr. Ayotaman also called on faith-based organizations to join in the fight against mob action by educating the people on ethical values. Aviation workers at the Port Harcourt Airport today joined their counterparts across the country on a peaceful protest at the airport. The chairman of Air Transport Services Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, Port Harcourt International Chapter, Razak Animashon, told our correspondent that the workers gathered peacefully in compliance with the directive of the national body. He said the peaceful gathering did not disrupt flight operations, but warned that after the two-day peaceful strike, the unions will embark on gathering, the unions will embark on strike if the government fails to meet their demands.
We have us to block some areas so that there'll be no movement, the operation. But when we now land that aircraft that took off from Lagos, so we have to relax. Why we relax is because, normally it is a Nigerian Airspace Management Agency that control the air. Though some of their members, they are part of the union. They've not really issued no time to those airlines not to fly. So that is the case. So we have to relax, but we are still on standby for further direct. They allow flights to pick up from other airports, so we have to allow. We didn't disrupt any national body.
They are demanding, among other things, that the planned demolition of aviation agencies headquarters in Lagos be halted, while also advocating the implementation of conditions of service signed with the staff of the aviation agencies. Moving on. The PDP in various states sustained its grip on the state, winning the two supplementary elections held on Saturday in Kana Federal Constituency and Port Harcourt Federal Constituency 2. The PDP had earlier won the governorship poll, all 32 House of Assembly seats, the 3 senatorial districts, and with Saturday's results of 12 out of the 13 seats in the House of Representatives. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) in the state declared PDP's Dunamene Dekor the winner of Kana Federal Constituency and Blessing Amadi winner of Port Harcourt Constituency 2. The returning officer for the constituency election, Professor Kingsley Owete, while reading the performance of the various candidates in the election, said Dekor Dunamene satisfied the requirements of the law and was returned elected.
NRM 109, PDP 18641, SDP 10165. That the PDP candidate, Dekor Dunamene, having satisfied the requirement of the law, is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected.
There were, however, reports of voter apathy during the election in Port Harcourt Federal Constituency 2, as many people went about their daily activities. In Kana Federal Constituency, ballot boxes were snatched in some units in Sogo community. In the same vein, INEC has tasked security agencies to arrest and prosecute those who brutalized one of his national commissioners deployed to Adamawa State for Saturday's supplementary governorship poll. INEC National Commissioner Festus Okoye told newsmen in Kebbi that 2 national commissioners deployed to the state were beaten and one of them was stripped naked. Mr. Okoye also said the resident electoral commissioner in Adamawa, Yunusa Ari, has arrived at Abuja over an invalid declaration of Aisha Binani Dahiru of the APC winner of the governorship election. We'll go for a quick break. Still ahead, NDLEA intercepts drug consignments in winter jackets, body lotion at Lagos Airport. Just stay tuned. Welcome back. President Muhammadu Buhari has condemned the ongoing fight which erupted in the Sudanese capital between the military and powerful paramilitary while calling for a ceasefire. Speaking during a visit of the transitional president of Chad, General Mohammed Idris Deby Itno in Saudi Arabia yesterday, President Buhari described the fighting that claimed tens of lives as unfortunate. Consignments of tramadol, Rofinol, ecstasy and cannabis concealed in winter jackets and bottles of body cream have been intercepted by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport NMIA Ikeja, Lagos. The psychoactive substances were recovered at the new terminal of the airport following the arrest of a passenger, Joshua Sunday, who was traveling on a Qatar Airline flight via Doha to Oman, Middle East. A thorough search of suspects' 2 black bags led to the discovery of 4.8 kilograms of cannabis concealed in 3 winter jackets and various quantities of tramadol, rofinol, ecstasy hidden in bottles of body lotion. In business, the Nigerian Employers Consultative Association says the International Monetary Fund's call on the federal government to increase taxes in order to reduce borrowing will affect economic growth and worsen the country's plight. The Director General of NECA, Mr. Wale Oyorinde, in a statement yesterday said such an economic decision might appear to be in favor of the government since it would drive up its revenues. He, however, stressed that hiking taxes would have negative effects on households, businesses, and the economy in general. In sports, Kadiri Aruna is set to serve off his first round of the men's singles of WTT champions Macau as he was paired against world and Olympic champion Ma Long of China. Aruna, who exited last week's WTT champion Xinjiang in the first round after losing 3-0 to Chinese Taipei's Lin Yongju, will be competing against the world's best at the second WTT Champions event of the year, which kicks off today at SEC Multisport Pavilion. WTT Champions Macau has a combined prize pool of $800,000 on offer, with 1,000 world ranking points waiting at the top of the podium for the champions.
And now we'll bring you news from around the world.
Explosions rocked the Sudanese capital Khartoum today as fighting between the army and paramilitary forces led by rival generals raged for a third day, with the death toll surpassing 100. The violence erupted Saturday after weeks of past struggles between the two generals who seized power in a 2021 coup. Sudan's army chief Abdel Fattah al-Burhan and his deputy Mohamed Hamdan Daglo, who commands the powerful paramilitary. The intense conflict, which has seen airstrikes, tanks on the streets, artillery fire, and heavy gunfire in crowded neighborhoods both in Khartoum and other cities across Sudan, has triggered international demands for an immediate ceasefire. Now on the news this afternoon, you heard residents flee as soldiers besiege in Dele community over attack on personnel. Stakeholder reacts following planned reprisal attack on Indele community in Emoa. Aviation workers at Port Harcourt International Airport have protested over the poor welfare condition, and the LAA has intercepted draw consignments in winter jackets, body lotion at Lagos Airport. And the front scene, explosion in Sudanese capital as fighting entered third day. The news was edited by Onkachi Wosu. Cloudy weather in Port Harcourt this afternoon. Remember, peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. I am Kalada Kurubatibo. Good afternoon, and this station, Sunnyside, is up next.